It's about time you two got it on. Oh, everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 11th Katy Keene chapter review. So some good news to start off this episode. I have received word, I've heard through the grapevines that Katy Keene Season 1 will be wrapping up on schedule with its 13th episode coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we are ending Katy Keene Season 1 on time, meaning that the 13 episode additional script order will probably be saved over for Season 2, meaning that Katy Keene probably, I guess in a very weird way, did get renewed for Season 2, I guess. So grateful that Katy Keene's stories won't be done after we're wrapped up here in a couple of weeks. But I'll talk about more about the remaining of Katy Keene's schedule here on What's on the Tube at the end of this episode review. But now let's talk about this specific chapter, Chapter 11. This was a pretty good one. I felt like this is definitely an improvement from the last couple of weeks, where the last couple of episodes I was a bit more critical than I usually am. I guess that the direction that when we came back from the COVID delay, that one was weirdly paced for me, and then the one last week, it just reminded me a little bit too much of Riverdale, and that wasn't, again, I understand people don't like it when people when we make comparisons from this show, which is a clearly different elemental beast, to Riverdale. These are two completely different shows, despite they are in the same universe. But they're so totally similar that, you know, if I was ever to talk about Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is also set in this universe, it wouldn't make sense to compare all of them together. But for the sake of comparison's sake, I do. But it just last week did remind me a lot of Riverdale and not really much about Katy Keene. This episode definitely kind of returned back to form a little bit. We kind of really, not to say the last two episodes haven't really continued the stories properly, just the way they were done didn't really exactly sit well with me. So thankfully this one definitely made things more better. This week we're focusing on the Met Gala, Met Gala? I don't know how it's all to pronounce. I'm not in the fashion world at all. I have no interest in it. I only see the photos on Instagram from people who I follow that do somehow get invitations to go to these, and this is clearly not the representation. But again, I know it's a TV show, you know, they gotta do what they can. They can't obviously film at the Met Gala. I don't think the CW is willing to pay for permits for that, or I don't think that's even legally possible. But anyway, so I really enjoyed this episode, and let's get to it. Let's go through the butchered recap. So we begin this chapter with a narration about the Met Gala, how this is probably the biggest event for any fashion designer to see, learn, and be at. This is like the biggest event that anyone can go to. Katy describes it as this is her Super Bowl, her big moment, and something she wants to strive to eventually be able to walk down the red carpet with someone who's wearing one of her designs. That's a dream of hers. But right now, with her working at Lacey's and her apprenticeship with Guy, she's already kind of feeling the pressures of the Met Gala life, because she's taking over Gloria's position with her rival. It's a lot of work. In fact, they got a lot of clients that want dress from Lacey's, so there's a lot of orders to fill, as well as guys personally designing a dress for someone, which I don't know the name. I forgot the name. It's just some. She's probably an actress or something. I really don't know. I don't think the character itself is played by anyone well known. I say that as a very loose terminology in terms of me, because it's very hard for me to learn these names and very hard for me to be aware of people. And yeah, but anyway, Katy's also dealing with the pressures of doing both the apprenticeship and the job, so she's always constantly running down back and forth. But she seems to be getting the groove of things, especially around this time period. Meanwhile, we cut back to the Golden Girls apartment, where it's a little bit tense going on with everything you know been happening. Josie now having to deal with Xandra as terms of a new rival. Jorge with the breakup of Bernardo. Pepper now dealing with her ex/current wife. Hannah coming back into her life and becoming a brand new thorn in her side. Katy seems to be the only one really kind of like living the dream right now. And everyone's kind of... and also Jorge makes a very small side that, hey, you forgot to pay your rent, honey. But thankfully that's not the subplot for this week. But however, Katy does receive the letter from Parsons. Remember that thing we saw about Jesus Christ, it feels like forever ago since we started this show. It's It's already May. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm recording this on May 1st. It's crazy how fast time goes. It really is. But anyway, so Parsons finally writes back to Katy. Turns out, sadly, Katy is not eligible and is not able to attend Parsons next fall, meaning that she can't potentially attend her own dream school. And that was something that her and her mom has been working towards for years at this point, but they don't give a reason why. Even the recommendation letter from Gloria doesn't really, I guess it didn't really help, maybe because of the credibility of the recent episode. I really don't know, to be honest with you. So that's kind of a bummer. So we're going to see that pop back in a minute. So I think from here, we'll start splitting off from here to the separate storylines. So yeah, let's go for Jorge. Jorge's kind of the more not small. I'm not gonna say smaller one, but he's definitely the one I can comprehend the most. So Jorge is dealing with a lot right now, since in the last few weeks he has lost his boyfriend to someone he used to be with for about a year, and his father and his father aren't really talking, because after being jumped and having his dad still trying to comprehend the whole drag queen thing, it hasn't really sat well for their relationship. And Jorge's not really in a good spot right now. His mom and Francois. It's been a while since we've seen Francois. I wonder what he's been up to. I feel so much empathy for Francois, because I feel sorry for him. Like, and I've kept repeating this almost every single chapter review, is he brought in Katy. He saved her from not losing the job at Lacey's, and then she leaves him for the apprenticeship with Guy, and we haven't really seen much of Francois. I mean, we saw him in the Spider Queen episode, but since then we haven't really been seeing a lot of him per se. But he's back. He's giving some advice to Jorge about having to not fight every battle, that don't waste your energy on this battle because it's not worth it in the end. You shouldn't be having this battle. And his mom is trying to push him towards maybe finding another gig in the meantime while everything's happening, get some more income coming in. And Jorge's not really having it yet, but he does agree to at least talk to his dad, with the condition his mom at least pushes his dad to the side of accepting him already. And yeah, so also we get a visit from Jorge also helps out Pepper with her scheme of the week, which I'll get to when we talk about Pepper. We also see police officer Adrian Che. I don't know what his character, the actor, the name is. I forgot the actor's name. He was in Arrow season 5. I should know this because I literally just did a DVD unboxing for the Arrow stuff, so I don't remember. But so he's here. He's trying to advise his brother that, hey, listen, Dad misses you, Mom misses you. She feels upset that the family's not together anymore. Actually, I might be mixing the two scenes up, so I could be wrong there. But anyway, so Jorge doesn't really know what to do. And then we cut later on where Jorge does have dinner with his dad and mom at the apartment. And it seems like things were going well in the very first 30-45 seconds, and then Jorge's dad just says some wrong things, the wrong terminology, his conditions, and it just escalates. And then Jorge pretty much explodes about how after being kicked out when he was 14 and now dealing with similar trauma and feedback from his dad again recently, he's not entirely happy with his dad or his current situation right now. But however, before they are able to continue their conversation or / argument further, the brother shows up. Turns out they have a suspect that could match the description. It could be this person who helped beat up Jorge and Bernardo a few weeks ago. So, but however, they go to the station. Turns out it wasn't the guy. But as a precaution, he also calls in Bernardo to try and get some double confirmation. Actually, secretly a scheme to kind of get these two back talking again. But Bernardo and Jorge have a little bit of an awkward talk. They transition back to the bar. Turns out Bernardo and Buzz didn't entirely work out. It was just a few times they hung out. So Bernardo's more interested in Jorge. He wants to kind of fresh start everything and see if they can get back to where they were before. But Jorge admits at that moment that he does have some issues, some emotional issues he needs to work through, and he thinks it's best to work through them alone, not with anyone else. And honestly, I feel like that's a solid decision for Jorge to make, because despite Jorge having moments throughout the last throughout the series so far, he has been shown to at least think he has things under control. He thinks he has everything. And then after last time, we saw him kind of have a wake-up call. And, I think it was the right decision. And also, we don't know how long this journey will take. And I respect that Jorge doesn't want to put Bernardo through this. He doesn't want to, make him wait till the eventual moment he might be ready. That's kind of the right decision to make. So, but Bernardo does leave it as, hey, once you get better, I'll be here. I'll be here ready for you. So at least indicating that he might wait for him whenever that is. And then Jorge returns back home. He has another chat with his mom. This time she's more open in admitting that his dad is going to protect him in certain terms, that he's always been protecting him regardless of certain opinions he might have on Jorge's decisions in life. And also the fact that and it's another New York staple of any TV show to have is that, with current modern day rent, even if they have all their units rented out, it's still a very expensive mortgage. They had to increase the rents of everyone. And also, since he doesn't want Jorge or his friends to leave, Jorge's dad has actually been doing a lot to try and make up for Jorge's, very special rent amount in order to be able to pay for all the bills, which honestly, again, I'm not a dad whatsoever, so I don't understand him, but I do respect the fact that he's a Hispanic man, and he's a Hispanic dad, and he loves his kids so much that, and he's scared for him. He wants to protect them, and he's doing everything he can without letting him know. And Jorge seems to be understanding that and has agreed to at least maybe look into some other audition that doesn't require him to be in drag. So it's a step in the right direction for him. Back on the Pepper front, Pepper is struggling again because with Heather coming back to her life and now she's declaring war on her. She's been trying to usurp her. She's trying to take the name. She's trying to do everything possible to ruin Pepper's dream, and Pepper's not having it. So in order to get some more revenue coming in so she can open the Pepper place before Heather can, she needs Alex to donate even more money to Pepper to kind of accelerate the launch. Initially, Alex is not entirely comfortable with things. He thinks that since the brand isn't well known just yet, it's too much of a risk right now to invest. But after after a sex session with Josie, he kind of is persuaded that, okay, if she can promise you that she'll make you and the Pussycats the house band, then I'll invest the rest of my savings. Because again, remember, Alex is not rich. He doesn't have a company anymore to get. He doesn't have any income coming in. Pretty much anything he has, that's it. That's all he has. So he has to play safe, and that's understandable. Josie and Pepper have a talk, and Josie makes Pepper agree about certain conditions. Pepper agrees. She gives her the money, and meanwhile, Pepper has to focus now on getting the Pepper place out there, getting even more investors in, getting the brand out there, as well as the Pussycats. So she decides to be a water bottle handler at the Met Gala for some reason, just to kind of cross in every single storyline somehow together, or almost every one of them. I mean, okay. That seems like the right direction, but it's kind of a weird one. So we cut to the Met Gala, and Pepper is wearing a very horrible, obvious wig, and she's doing her best to try and be in every single picture possible to kind of still promote the brand. It seems to be working until she finds out that Heather had actually secured an invite to the Met Gala, so she's doing more on camera, promoting for her place when that opens up eventually. And the two actually agreed to, hey, listen, let's get a drink after this, let's talk about this, let's try and bury the hatchet, which she does tentatively agree to. But and then we cut to later. Pepper's involved in something else, but I'll cut to that in the Josie section. Pepper and Hannah go to talk at the bar, and Pepper pretty much laid out the whole spiel, listen, this is how things are going to go. It would be a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of resources to try and ruin one another. So let's just get the divorce, let's make it official, and kind of just trying to move on from each other. And after some persuasion, Hannah is convinced, and she signs it. But before things are just well said and done, Pepper decides to add one more thing to try and prevent any sort of revenge scheme against her. So she got her mom. Ah, yes, every young adult's dream, to have their mom called up and take them away because they're not ready to be adults. Perfect. Yeah, so Hannah's taken away. However, before Hannah is able to leave back to the countryside, I guess, it turns out Hannah was able to pay one more visit to someone. She pays a visit to Alex, and she might have revealed some incriminating details about Pepper, which we won't find out, I guess, till next week. So, all right, keep us in suspense a little while longer. So, seems like everything's going well for Pepper for now. To Josie's point, yeah, Josie is still trying to get the Pussycats into a more, established ring, trying to get the name out there, especially after last week with Sandra kind of now declaring another war against them. So, Josie needs to be one step ahead of her now, and teaming up with Pepper seems to be the logical thing to do, I guess. I'm not saying that sarcasm, I'm just saying that as a concerned citizen. Like, there's probably other people out there who could help you, but okay. So, Pepper decides to cook a scheme that, why don't we get Josie and the Pussycats to perform at the Met Gala? Which is surprising, but guess what? There's a lot of cameras, and there's a lot of, photography, so why not do it? So, they do it. They actually perform a new song in front of the entire Met Gala photographers, and seems to be going well. They're trending online afterwards. So it seems everything's going well for the Pussycats until Alex comes in and tells Josie that, hey, listen, Pepper might not be so legit as we thought. That kind of ends there. Actually, I could have really just started with the Josie one. That was kind of quick, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, so moving on to Katy, because she kind of, with the Met Gala, being the center focus this week, Katy's storyline is obviously going to stand out above the rest. Not to say that Katy's storyline is never standing up above the rest, but anyway, I'm blabbering too much. Let's just get down to it. So, again, Katy is busy balancing two jobs, basically, an apprenticeship and her new job as the head shopper, or I forgot what the terminology was for Gloria's position. But it's a lot, and Katy's trying to help out as much as he can, even with Guy's impending design, which is also going to be his solo debut on the Met Gala carpet, as he's independent from his former company, whatever. I think from his family, I guess. I forgot which one it was. It's been a while since we got introduced to Guy, so I kind of forgot the backstory of him, and the client doesn't like it. She says that this is too poofy. This is too big for me to be wearing at the Met Gala. So she implies this guy to refix it. And, he does, but under the pressure, again, and he also has to finish his own collection line, his debut. So there's a lot riding on Guy right now. And so he's not exactly in a good place, especially with Katy, who's supposed to be helping him, being stuck between two positions. It's not really good for Guy to not have that much support. But Katy has to focus on her own thing, so Katy heads back downstairs, tries helping getting all the Met Gala orders in place. And who shows up? KO. Oh my god, I miss KO so much. And my theory was right. Like, every time KO is in an episode, like, I just immediately like the episode a lot of times more. Not to say I have a certain thing against KO or I like KO. It's just that he's kind of like what every human male being should be. Like, he's smart and he's reasonable, where a majority of other people on TV is not. But anyway, so KO's there. Apparently, he got an invite to the Met Gala because everyone's conveniently going to the Met Gala. Because why the hell not? Because with Xander pushing him to be an underwear model, he got an invite for that, and he wants to get a order in from Lacey, specifically Katy. So the two are getting to talk again, and he's kind of bummed out that Katy didn't get into Parsons. But Katy is still happy about, his recent improvements in his life, dating Xandra, now being invited to the Met Gala. So it's pretty big for KO. But Guy shows up kind of, distraught at the whole deadline with the Met Gala coming up literally the next day and everything going on in his life. He's kind of a little bit more sassy than usual. And then when he spots KO, he immediately kind of has beef with him. And it comes to the point where KO actually decks him in the eye. So after he insults him, that was pretty good. That was actually a pretty solid right hook. I actually left a mark on Guy. Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting Guy's name. Like, I'm supposed to be like, Guy is just so generic and weird for some reason to give a character a name. But oh well, I ain't the writer for the show. So from then where do we go from here? I think from here we went into. No, yeah, so Guy disappears as Katy returns back upstairs to try and get things in order. Turns out the client is coming over to see the progress on the new dress. So the Guy's sister, his I forgot what the terminology is for this one, the position for this one. I think it's just the accountant, the financer, the CFO or something. I forgot which one it was. But anyway, she advises Katy, hey, listen, just distract her. I gotta go find my brother. You just gotta lie to her, make sure everything's fine with the dress. And she does, but, the client clearly just sees for Katy's BS. But Katy then reverts back to her genuine self, and the client's actually pretty impressed with her as a person, so that's kind of a good sign that things might be improving for her in the future. And there is no sign of Guy anywhere by the end of the day, and she's worried because, there is no dress. The Met Gala is tomorrow night, and Guy's still missing. So everything is riding on hope here. And also, yes, but then Katy decides, you know what, we can't wait for Guy around forever. The client needs her dress, with no delays, so Katy actually goes back and redesigns the dress and gets it to a more comfortable state where the client would accept it. But meanwhile, thankfully, from Jorge's help with the in the other storyline, they managed to find Guy in the police station where Katy pleads to him, listen, here's some coffee, here's some wake-up food. You need to get your tux on, you need to shave, you need to get ready because the gala's, in a few hours. But Guy's kind of like, you know what, I don't want to go to the Met Gala, there's no point, I have no dress, stuff like that. And after Guy just continuously, tries to get out of going to the Met Gala and, because of his, recent actions, Katy just snaps at him saying, listen, I didn't get the Parsons, so there's possibly no chance for me to even get my dress in the Met Gala at some point in the near future. Plus, you should be so lucky to be in your position that you're able to be at the Met Gala. You're able to design a dress for someone, and you have the balls to say you're just going to skip out. But Katy said, you know what, you're on your own. I'm getting out of here. I got a dress to deliver. You're on your own. So Katy heads to the Met Gala. The client's superbly impressed with it, but she's obviously concerned that Guy isn't here yet. But Katy keeps trying to disguise the fact that, hey, Guy is on the way, he's getting ready, don't worry about it. And eventually, after a few more waiting periods, it's time for her to go up, and she decided, you know what, why don't we let Katy go up? She's more associated with the dress with right now that we have, so Katie's about to eventually have her red carpet debut, her dream come true, to an extent, and Guy shows up with a black guy, and, walks her down the runway. And Katy gets happy a little bit that while she's not being able to walk down the red carpet just quite yet, she's happy that something that she worked on is walking down the runway. And she also has a scene with KO. He shows up after that, and they kind of having another peaceful moment. These are just friends now. They're not really all in the lovey-dovey mode. Hopefully, maybe they'll be at some point in the near future. Who knows? And yeah, and then Guy does an interview for the cameras, and he does express Katie's, contributions for the dress, and also he does warn everyone, hey, listen, one day you will know Katy Keene's name, you will. That I promise you. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of sweet. I ate some bad grapes, I think, because my stomach's starting to swell up a little bit. Oh boy. Yeah, I should have finished those grapes last week. Oh well. Anyway. Actually, no, wait, before anyone corrects me, no, I bought these grapes earlier this week, but I still think this is Sunday, but it's actually Friday, so, my time clock is so off right now. So, I think from there, yeah, so we head back to Lacey's. Katy talks with her rival. It seems like the two are ready to kind of have a mutual understanding between one another after Katie's performance at the Met Gala, but they're not friends yet. That don't even count on that just yet. But then Guy shows up, thanking Katy and telling her that, hey, listen, I didn't get into Parsons either, but look where I am right now. So just not getting into Parsons is not the end of the world for your career, which is, again, it totally makes sense. It does. I can relate to that because there are people I've talked to that have been disappointed that they weren't able to get into a certain program or a school, but it's not the end of the world. It's not just because this was the shining example or a prominent example of becoming a fashion designer. Just because you miss that stuff doesn't mean you can't be it. It's just that you'll have a more unique background, so to speak. But then I forgot what they said, but Katy and Guy just give into their feelings, start kissing, and presumably are about to lay on each other on Gloria's former desk. Oh my god! And that's kind of where we cut the chapter. Kind of a longer recap than usual, I think. I definitely felt like I talked for a while, so I apologize for that. Also, my eyes itching me for some reason. I hate allergies. I really hate allergies. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed this chapter. I felt like it was a return to form for Katy Keene overall as a series, and I'm liking the direction they're taking with the characters. How will we see the whole Pepper now becoming a major point for concern? How will that happen? We'll see. Will Katie and Guy regret their fling now hook up? And also, where's the prince? Like, I completely forgot there was a prince on this show, and we haven't seen him in weeks. Did we just forget about this subplot already, or did we? I really don't know. To be honest with you. And Josie and Jorge were kind of fine by the end of this chapter. But again, with everything that's about to happen, it'll be a cause for concern how the Golden Girls will, react to this latest development within their circle. But overall, again, on this episode alone, it was solid episode. 2 thumbs up in my book. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. So again, if you were unaware, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see what we're doing overall on What's on the Tube, we do rookie episode reviews every single Monday after a brand new episode on Sunday on ABC. We also do, we used to do Nancy Drew episode review, but that's officially over. The next show we're doing on the Thursday time slot will be Stargirl, but that's not starting up for a couple weeks. But in the meantime, next week's edition on the Thursday show will be just Jane the Virgin. A full series review of sorts, in a way, not a proper one, but kind of sort of close enough. I gotta work on a different name for that. But if you only care about Katy Keene, we always do Katy Keene episode reviews every single Saturday after a brand new episode on Thursday on the CW. So right now, in terms of Katy Keene plans, we are currently 2 more episodes away from the finale. Well, that's kind of weird to say. Like I always hate how press releases and TV promos phrase this. So there's 2 more episodes left of season 1. So we'll be doing episode reviews until the 14th. Well, no, until the 16th. So that's when we'll post our last one in terms of solo episode reviews. And then after that week, we will be doing a full season 1 review of Katy Keene on the first 13 episodes. And then, since we've already heard confirmation, that was a weird thing how the CW phrased it, that we were getting 13 additional episodes. They ordered 13 additional more episodes for the series, but they never classified that as a season 2 announcement. So that was kind of weird in my opinion. So the way I perceived it was that, we were going to get 13 more episodes in the season 1 order, which was already 13 episodes. So we were going to get 26 episodes. That was kind of a little bit too high. Even for a CW show, they usually now clock out at 222, so I don't know how that was going to work. But since, I guess with everything going on, I guess they just said, you know what, let's just save that for a proper season 2. So after the season 1 review, we will be doing a season 2 predictions video like I've been doing for all my other completed sub-series reviews I've been doing already since we started this endeavor. And yeah, so that will be coming out. That will probably take us throughout the end of May. I haven't really determined what we're going to do with the Sunday time slot just yet. I mean, May's only begun. That's the weird thing. May's only begun. The Katy Keene schedule's already been kind of planned and ironed out for the remaining time period until we reach the end of May. But I don't exactly know what we're going to do just yet when we get to June. But that's future show's problem, and I'll let you guys know when we get closer to that. We still got 4 more weeks. I'm not getting bothered by it. Oh my god, and that kind of speaks to how every time I procrastinate on my assignments, which I should be doing right now, so I'll probably get to that right now. But anyway, if you want to aware, guys, again, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's on the Tube, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Also, ring the bell for notifications when we have a new Katy Keene chapter review live. Like, favorite, and share this episode review if you want to. But it really helps us out if you do. Help get the word out there. And also, follow us on social media. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Again, stay safe during this time period. And for you Golden Girls out there, I'll see you guys or gals next week. Peace out.